to Sir Muhammad Nazir bin Rabun. We are from the group of Ministry of Rural Development, KAM 2285D, will be presenting a tutorial video presentation with the assigned question of analyze the relevance of gig economy during Covid-19 pandemic, discuss reason to support arguments. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Nurada binti Azman, along with my teammates Intan Nazifa binti Jonet, Siti Najihah binti Syaiful Nizam, Azrin Syairah binti Muhammad Asri, and Muhammad Ilham bin Muhammad Azhari. For today, we will be covering introduction to gig economy, the relevancy of gig economy contribution to the Malaysia economy during Covid-19 pandemic, recommendations to improve gig economy in Malaysia, gig economy across countries, and conclusion.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Ilham bin Muhammad Azhari. I will present about introduction of the gig economy. The gig economy meaning is a labor market where freelance, temporary or independent contract work is common. Full-time, permanent position are not part of the gig economy. The gig economy use digital platforms to connect freelancer with customer to provide short-term services or asset sharing. Example include ride-hailing apps, food delivery apps, and holiday rental apps. It is a growing segment bringing economic benefits of productivity and employment. The gig industry is composed of independent contractors and freelancers instead of full-time employees. It is based on flexible, temporary or freelance jobs. There are many perks provided by the gig industry, being your own boss, setting your own business hours, working on projects you are passionate about, and many more. The nature of gig work is that it is temporary work, so gig economy workers may work multiple gigs in a year to create a total yearly income. Each gig economy job is a small portion of the total income they get. When added together over the courses of a year, the gig workers' pay is similar to a full-time employees. About 30% of the labor force in Malaysia, which is 5 million people, works in the gig economy, and the number has been growing. The reason for the increases in the rate of employees in the economy gig sector is that they have flexibility in terms of working hours and working location, so they are free to choose the type of the job and the payment. Furthermore, working from home is now the new norm in Malaysia as the COVID-19 cases increase, and this driving the demand for the gig economy. That's all from me, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Najihah binti Syaiful Nizam, and I will talk about the relevance of gig economy in Malaysia. Gig economy in Malaysia. Does it really relevant for us to have this kind of economy in our country? Today, 26% of Malaysia labor force, equivalent to 4 million freelancers, form part of the growing gig economy. Based on a study done by Zurich Insurance, about 38% of Malaysian full-time employees had already considered venturing into the gig economy, which was higher than the global average of 20%. The gig economy presents itself as a viable option, especially to the next generation of the workforce, or also known as tech-savvy Generation Z, to earn a living while working flexibly through shift to maintain a work-life balance. In terms of businesses, about 84% of ASEAN Pacific hiring managers choose to outsource to freelancer to save costs. The blooming industry of technology, the rise popularity of working remotely, lack of high-skilled workers, increasingly high cost of living, the constant change in market demands. These things that I've mentioned is some of the factors that encourage locals to turn to gig economy. In Malaysia, due to pandemic COVID-19, our economy has badly affected, but somehow the pandemic also has accelerated the growth of gig platform and the adoption of gig works. Therefore, it is not excessive for me to say that this gig platform has helped our country to improve its economy, especially when the gig economy has helped to bring significant increase in Malaysia gross domestic product. The main reason for people seeking opportunities in gig economy because of the income. The gig workers are able to tap into various markets to earn more than one income, as they are able to generate a more lucrative income than those who have worked longer in a company. The fact that there are some people that are comfortable in venturing in this field because of they will be having time flexibility and the freedom to choose or select the type of job that they want to do. Aside from that, the perks of getting involved in this gig work, people may have higher work-life balance and able to receive more pay if given more efforts, having upper hand during negotiation, and as for companies, they can save resources in terms of training, benefits, and office space. Even though the gig economy has its own perks, however, it also has the drawbacks. The drawback is the gig economy in Malaysia is being treated as separated silo of the economy, with its workers facing many social and economic adversaries and often be exploited by platform providers. This can be seen with workers in the gig economy, which they are unable to earn living wage due to the gig economy ecosystem that was structured by platform providers. They are also not entitled to any social security benefits such as EPF, EIS, and so, unable to form labor union and to collective bargaining, and not being identified and recognized by the government, resulting in lacking critical data on them. Consequently, impossible ineffective policy making being implemented. So, in order for Malaysia to have transition to gig economy, our government must play proactive role in providing suitable and appropriate policies, protect and secure the gig workers, and promoting the gig platforms. To conclude, the future of the gig economy in Malaysia is still going strong, as it was expected of the gig economy to bring in approximately US 2.7 trillion by 2025. It is relevant for Malaysia to have gig economy, especially in facing with unforeseeable future, in which having gig economy will benefit not only to the people but also to the businesses, and especially in facing with autonomy in the ever-changing job markets.
I will be further explaining on the recommendation to improve gig economy in Malaysia. The first recommendation for gig economy in Malaysia is to formalize gig economy workers. The pandemic of Covid-19 have influenced the gig economy growth. This is because majority of people work from home most of the time due to this demand for services such as delivery had increased. Now is the right time to formalize gig economy workers within the labour market of domestic. This is because it is seen that gig economy workers are not receiving formal recognition, especially under the labour law of Malaysia. This will then lead to gig economy workers to be exposed to exploitation as well as protection that is insufficient. According to a researcher from Research for Social Advancement, Mr. Jaideep Singh stated that gig economy will exist now and in the future. Thus, it is a need for Malaysia to adapt to this culture sooner. For example, judges from countries such as United Kingdom, France, as well as Canada have come out with a new rule that is favourable for gig workers, which classifies gig workers very similar to employment that is normal rather than self-employment. Malaysia too should follow this step. According to the researcher, it is recommended for the gig workers to grant access to more comprehensive social protection system that is enjoyed by traditional employees, which includes an automatic enrollment under EPF as well as insurance of employment under the employment insurance system. It is also worth mentioning that the researcher added, in order to achieve this recommendation, gig workers need to be recognized as workers first. According to Mr. Jaideep, most of gig economy workers, especially those involved in transportation and delivery, are exposed to an employment that is not secured. This is due to inconsistence of fluctuation of demand from consumer. Most people that have low skills tend to be involved in gig work. This is because it requires less skills. Those affected from pandemic resort to gig work due to losing the job. If less protecting and very limited scope for career progression keeps on happening for a long period of time, this will worsen the inequality gap within Malaysia. The second recommendation to improvise gig economy in Malaysia is for the government to consider in imposing minimum wage to gig workers. This is because minimum wage for gig economy is not being stated under the law in Malaysia. According to the Deputy Human Resources Minister, Dato' Awang Hashim stated that in the state of United Kingdom, the workers of gig economy has been granted with minimum wage protection as a result from dissatisfaction with inconsistent rate of delivery wages. When it comes to the context of Malaysia, gig workers are not being categorized as employees when referring to the Employment Act 1995. This is according to Dato' Awang Hashim. Because there is no minimum wage, exploitation is seen. For example, in 2019, delivery riders from Foodpanda went through a strike due to the payment scheme that has been changed, which is not in favor with the riders, as the riders felt like the payment is not enough. With the new payment scheme, riders will not get paid for hours they are working. With the old system, the riders could obtain as much as thousands, and with the new system, only hundreds could be obtained.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Azrin Shaira Midima Asri, and I'll be presenting on the point gig economy across countries. Gig economies has expanded exponentially from the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. Some estimates predict that gig economy represent around 35% of the US workforce in 2020, up from between 14 and 20% in 2014, according to Forbes. This means that roughly 57 million Americans currently engage in some type of gig work that contributes more than $1 trillion to the US economy annually. As the world starts to fully embrace this new way of working, which will undoubtedly continue to grow post-pandemic, country leaders must plan for this inevitable shift and ways to support the workers to ensure the gig economy long-term viability. According to the Straits Times, a country across the globe has starting to look into the safety net and ways to improve the working condition for these workers. According to The Guardian, Britain's booming gig economy has more than doubled its size for the past 3 years and now account for 4.7 million workers. These are some facts for the global gig economy. According to 2019 study by Mastercard's $204 billion in gross volume estimate to be generated from gig economy. Fueling the global gig economy, a research paper by Mastercard. The number of gig economy workers expected to rise to 78 million in 2023, from 43 million in 2018. 58% of the gig economy worldwide is in the area of transportation. For example, Uber and Grab in Malaysia. So next, why individuals or why the workers choose to engage in work, in gig work or gig economy. So gig economy offers flexibility for the workers. They could work at their own convenience, at their own pace, and their own time. And this ensures the work-life balance of the workers. They doesn't need to be traditionally engaged, legally bound by the organization or follow organizational culture. Some changes have started to take place across the globe, especially in Europe, mostly due to court ruling. For instance, Uber has recognized some of 70,000 of its drivers in Britain as workers in the mid-March this year, providing them with minimum wage, paid leave, as well as pension plan. This move comes after the British Supreme Court upheld a ruling that stated the Uber driver need to be recognized as workers instead of independent contractors. Following suit, Asian Pacific countries also started to nudging the gig economy platform to provide more protection to the gig economy workers. For instance, China's market regulator, as well as 6 other government agencies, issued a guideline on the sector, insisting that the workers should be paid a minimum wage and be paid on time, provided medical insurance, as well as access to social security. This situation proves that the gig economy, the relevancy of the gig economy, and the importance of the gig economy to the global economy, as countries across the world started to take action and started to take measures in ensuring the viability of the gig economy.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Internazi for Janet. I want to conclude regarding on the gig economy. Gig economy it is based on flexible, temporary or freelance jobs, often involving relationship with client or customer through online platform. The gig economy can benefit employees, businesses and consumer by making work more suited to current demands for a flexible lifestyle. In fact, before the pandemic, around 70% of gig workers reported that they participate in the gig economy out of choice, and because it provided more flexibility and efficiency while lowering the cost of doing business and sometimes more income than a full-time job. While this flexibility has always been appealing since the start of COVID-19, it is likely that many full-time employees have had to reluctantly join the gig economy out of necessity. People who stay jobs when companies fail to compete with the technologically viable alternative that offer new inventions and modification in an effort to remain relevant to existing customers as well as attract new customers. One example, travel agencies. Lost to online travel booking website, Uber services replaced traditional technology and Netflix has taken over the entertainment industry. However, the food and retail industry have restructured their business model with more online and home delivery options. This disruption is on the rise with layoffs around the world. Due to COVID-19, many of industry are affected, where all the industry services need to transform their business from traditional to the online platform. Gig economy are very important that open everyone's eyes to achieve a service process more efficiently and systematically. The COVID-19 pandemic is a wake-up call for working adults about the importance of being fast, flexible and agile in realizing the economic potential of gigs. That's all from me. Thank you.